Hey everybody, today I want to talk about oil. And oil is apparently running out, not soon, It's very vague what I see online. Some people say 100 years, some people say in 25 years. We don't know, but let's go with the worst case scenario. I've heard 5 years is kind of too far-fetched. But 30 years seems realistic. Looking at the trends of like converting to electric cars, gas prices going up, how sensitive our gas prices are to like the lack of supply, it is showing me that maybe there is the date we run out of oil is sooner rather than later. So let's say in 25 years we run out of oil, and we're just taking into account the United States. So in the United States we have about some stats say 160. I went and added up some of the labor statistics numbers, and I came up with 120 million people that work, and out of those 120 million people, 66 million make more than $75,000 a year. With that said, I think those people could easily convert from a gas car to an electric car, whether it's a Tesla, Kia, or Rivian, whatever electric car they buy. I think they could afford it. So let's say they do go with that choice. That would, help the other people not panic. So a lot of people may be panicking and buying Teslas or electric cars in general and getting into debt with Tesla, right? So that's something that might be happening. People that cannot afford a Tesla are buying a Tesla, financing a Tesla, and then they come up with having to pay about $900 a month in just payments from the loan and insurance, and then you gotta also add up the electrical cost, which is not that much. With that being said, we might have a crisis, not a crisis, but like a lot of people defaulting on those loans that could not have afforded. So maybe people that don't make $75,000 a year, a little bit less, end up buying a Tesla and they can afford it. Now you have a large inventory of new Teslas and used Teslas that people pretty much gave back because they cannot afford. So now if you wait a couple, maybe like 2 years or so, you might have a large variety of Teslas to buy from at a cheaper rate. You might have discount on the Tesla. So instead of buying now, you might want to wait. I want to get a Tesla, but I'm trying to see like, hey, as more people convert to Tesla, I don't know how fast it's going to happen, but I talked to a guy that works for Tesla, and he's saying that 100 cars a day are being delivered in Los Angeles. 100 cars a day times 365 is, how much is that? 36,500 cars delivered. At 2 zeros. 36,000 cars are delivered a year just in Los Angeles County. And now if we go to San Francisco, maybe double. Texas, another one. Then all across the world, we can see maybe 100,000 cars being delivered a year easily. So, and then with more factories opening up, more people are, also buying not just Teslas, but Kias and Ford, electric Fords. So I could easily see people consuming, converting their cars to electric at a rate about, 500,000 a year just in the United States. Maybe that's too much, but with these gas prices, I was about to buy one, but I'm gonna wait out and see what happens. And by waiting and having 500,000 cars, 500,000 less gas cars on the road is going to decrease demand, in somewhat, right? And so the numbers I have is that with 120 million cars on the road, most of them are gas cars, and most of those people have gas cars, and most of the people that work have a car, right? Let's say less than that, maybe only 90 million have cars. The rest use Uber, the rest use public transportation or so. We still are left with maybe 40 million gas cars that could be converted into electric cars. And with $500,000 a year, it's gonna take, you know, like 10 years or more to convert into to convert the majority of those 54 million gas cars into electric. So maybe in 5 years, demand will kind of be reduced, and gas prices might come down, and also the reserves might last a little bit longer. And then other countries like Germany or other parts of Europe, with the stuff going on with Russia where they get their oil, they're also going to maybe depend on going electric. So worldwide, there's a switch to electric cars, which means there's less demand for oil. That excess oil could be shipped to the United States, and we will gladly take it. And then that will supply our labor force, which travels a lot. On average, people drive around 16 miles, according to a video I saw. I think it's an infographic show. And, you know, I think just in 10 years, things will be kind of good. But eventually, everybody should be going to electric or having both, you know, a hybrid and an electric car. Gas prices won't go significantly down. Maybe it'll continue up, but like very slowly. This year is just a year where a lot of things are happening with Russia, and just supply chains are still affected by the pandemic, but things are starting to get better, it looks like. So my plan is, you know, I owe this Prius for 5 years. I have to pay it off in 5 years, or I think 6. I have a Corolla that I have to pay off in 6 years. I have a Honda that's already paid off that I'm gonna sell. And so I'm going to, you know, in 5 years, get rid of the Corolla, or maybe sooner, maybe in 3 years. In this car, I may keep it. When I sell the Corolla, I'll use the money I get to put it towards a Tesla, and maybe a used Tesla where it'll be cheaper, where people can't afford to pay it off. I'll take advantage of that situation, and then I'll have myself a Tesla. So I wouldn't panic too much about buying a Tesla right now. In my opinion, don't take my words as advice. You know, you could probably wait it off. You know, it's probably, you know, too abrupt to change into a Tesla. If you could do it and you can afford it, absolutely, I encourage it. If you cannot, you know, maybe hang on a little bit longer. I don't suggest anything I say, so take it with a grain of salt, as they say. But that's my plan. I'm gonna wait maybe 2 years to buy a Tesla. If something better comes up, and unless I'm making money in the stock market, I'll go with that. But yeah, let's say everybody from one day to the other, or 2 years from now, 55% of the people that could convert to Tesla convert to electric cars, or whatever, Tesla electric, I'm using it synonymously. And 25 years we had left, that 55% conversion of gas to electric will result in having an extra 13 years of gasoline, of oil. So instead of 25 years left, we have 38 years left of gas, of oil. We do have natural gas, which according to the video, the infographic show, it said 90 years left. There are cars that run on natural gas. I think, you know, people are still gonna choose electric. Maybe hydrogen fuel is kind of an option. It's very clean. I don't know how expensive it is to fuel, and it's something kind of viable now that I think about it. It's a pretty interesting concept if it's sustainable. So that's it with my video. I hope you enjoyed. Don't panic. I would suggest, I think, in my opinion, if you want to panic, but I'm not gonna panic. I'm gonna wait it out and buy a Tesla later later, maybe 2 years from now. Also, if we were to run out of oil suddenly, or like people are just not expecting it to happen sooner, I mean, the things that would happen is you have a bunch of cars that are not able to function, and most likely the minute oil that's left would go to the essential vehicles that could transport food and provide to people in the community. And everybody would just not necessarily be working. They'll just be home eating vegetables and stuff that's not processed. A lot of plants require oil to run their factories and such. Maybe some are just running on electricity. But a lot of the oil that's left will go into essential vehicles to feed population. Some of the population will go into farms to help farmers grow crops that use oil vehicles, and now we will supply the labor that those oil vehicles were doing. So yeah, hopefully that does not happen. That would be a pretty scary time and a sad time, because we are highly dependent on oil. A lot of businesses would go down and stocks would plummet. Stocks that depend on oil would plummet. You know, oil is the blood of our economy right now. We need to convert it to electricity or alternative energy that's sustainable. And what I mean by sustainable is not that it's harmful to the environment, just about anything that's harmful to the environment, but something that lasts. Oil is not gonna last eternally, right? At our current rate of consumption, it's incredible that we're still on foot and still have oil. So see you all in the next video. Bye bye.